Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Gadsden City Council meeting. I would also like to remind everyone, please make sure all cell phones are turned to the off or vibrate position. Please be advised our City Council meetings are broadcast on Comcast Channel 99, AT&T UVerse, and the City of Gadsden YouTube channel. This meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order. The chair calls on City Clerk Iva Nelson for the roll call.
Councilwoman Latham will join us in a moment or two. Councilman Smith.
Here.
Councilman Avery.
Here.
Councilman Back.
Here.
Councilman Wilson.
Here.
Councilwoman Minatra.
Here.
And Councilman Robinson. Here. We have a quorum present and the meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Councilman Smith if he will lead the invocation for us. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you now the humblest way we know how. Come with bowed heads and humble hearts, asking for your wisdom, your leading, and your guidance that we may carry out the business of the city. We thank you, O God, for all that you've done, all that you're doing, and most of all that you are going to do. God, help us to remember that it's all about the citizens of our city, God, and making our city better and a safer place to live. We give you praise for our mayor, our council, and all that's involved in the city business. We ask it all in the matchless name of our risen Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, we pray. And all that agree said amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the work session and council meetings held on August 26.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
The chair will entertain a motion to ratify payment of accounts for the week of August 22nd through the 28th.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries for ratifying the payments of the accounts.
Item 7 on our agenda is reserved for proclamations and commendations. I don't think we have any proclamations today. We do have some commendations in recognition of special guests. I would like to invite Kay Moore with Downtown Gadsden Incorporated to come forward along with two of her board members. I think they're board members, Tom Banks and Catherine Ray Martin. Y'all, they have, once again, Downtown Gadsden, Inc. and the Center for Cultural Arts has gone to a statewide event, Main Street, Alabama, and have swept some awards, and very proud of the efforts of this organization and the things that they do for our city and our downtown. And Kay is going to expand upon that and tell us exactly what was going on down there.
All right. Well, we do appreciate the opportunity to come, Council President Back and council members. Catherine is on my board and has been his previous president, and as Exchange Bank is a great representative of everything we've done. I guess since the downtown Gadsden was founded first as a Main Street city. And Tom Banks is the center. The Cultural Arts Center focuses as the center of downtown Gadsden. So this year we were able to come home with 3 awards plus one. I get to choose one award, which is my Main Street hero. This year was Tom Banks. Do you know why it was Tom Banks? Have you been to the Cultural Arts Center recently? Yes. Have you seen his vision of what's happened recently? So that's the exciting thing. So Tom was my Main Street hero. And then one of the awards that we received was the Building Design Award for a non-historic building, which was the Cultural Arts Center. Not only for what we've done on the exterior, but what has happened on the interior. Tom has brought the train down so everybody can see it. He's brought the artwork down so everybody can see it. It's free. Everybody can come in the Cultural Arts Center. It's free. And that made the upstairs, the second floor where they have the dancing and the music and all of that, more secure, because now they don't have people just wandering around up there. If you're not dancing or you're not taking lessons of some sort, you're not supposed to be up there. In fact, I was going up there for a meeting and I had a child stop me and say, "You're not supposed to go up there." So I think that he's done a great job for that. So we were very excited to win that award. We also won a marketing award for the banners. I don't know if y'all have seen the banners, the color-coded banners that we have downtown. Last year, when Catherine and I went to the meeting, this was the 12th annual Main Street, Alabama Lab. But last year they had this, they had a session on color coding your blocks. So you could say somebody, go to the red block or go to the yellow block. You know, that kind of gives you a better idea because all your banners are the same color. They say shop, eat, play, and enjoy, but they're all the same color. So we did that, and now we won an award for that, which was a marketing award. And then the public art, the hands on the Pittman. I know that when we first started that, it was not the most popular. I know that it was not exactly what people were looking for, but it turned out really, really well, I think, and just the words and everything, it brings us all together, and it was all a symbol of unity, and so that's kind of what our goal was for that. But we brought the awards. We wanted y'all to see the awards that we have, and appreciate the invitation to come today. I want Tom to show you his award, though. I want you to go pick up that. He loves his big face on that award, so I want to make sure y'all see that one. But
didn't know that was going to happen. See your face on the wall.
Yeah. Ray Wetzel was going to be with us this morning, but he had to go to Fort Payne to take some artwork back. Ray has been instrumental. He was instrumental in the painting on the Pittman, and has been instrumental, he and Tom both, with the Mayor's Art Council. Now, we are becoming more colorful, and we're becoming more fun. We've got 2 new murals and a couple of more that are kind of in the works. So I'm excited about that, and I think that if we continue to grow, we're catching up. We've been behind on our artwork for a long time, but I think now we're catching up, and we really want to be able to say, yes, let's go and get this. So.
Well, that's fantastic. I was, and I'll admit, I'll confess, I was one of the ones that was not in favor of the hands on the side of the Pittman. About halfway through it going up, I converted, and I think it's wonderful. And it just goes to show, you know, sometimes change is hard, but if you give it a chance, it'll grow on you, and it'll work. It was a great decision. And, and this is also a great example, y'all, of a public-private partnership. I mean, the City of Gadsden definitely supports the Center for Cultural Arts, and we support Downtown Gadsden Incorporated. But there's a lot of private hands involved in this, and this is what makes Gadsden thrive. We have the same kind of footprint up at Nakalula Falls when Chris Robinson and his friends started Friends of the Falls. And that public-private partnership is just critical to make our city thrive and grow. So if you are out there and if you have an idea like Friends of the Falls or a downtown thing, come and talk to us. And maybe that's the next public-private partnership. That's what makes our city go. You can't depend on government to do everything, and you can't depend on private citizens to do everything. We have to work together, and this is a prime example. And y'all are always so successful, Kay. Thanks for the leadership, and thanks. Every year y'all win some kind of an award. I think Gadsden is, I hear it at Alabama League of Municipality meetings. Our downtown is kind of the envy of a lot of cities in Alabama. Other cities try to emulate what you guys have done over the last 12, 15 years. So thank you.
Well, thank you. We've done it's with everybody working together, and that's what I always say. Like I say, Exchange Bank's been in this from the beginning. Tom Banks and Cultural Arts Center has really picked it up. Tina King's on our board. We have John Moore's also on our board from the city. So we have a lot of city representation, but we have other people who love downtown and who just want downtown to be successful, and it's all everybody working together.
It is. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can we get a picture? Anybody else want to say anything? Catherine, Tom, y'all want anything to add?
I just want to thank you again, as always, for your support.
Sure.
As you said, this wouldn't work without the partnership, so we're very grateful.
Well, you're welcome. And I will add, too, a personal note. Our granddaughter takes dance at Downtown Dance Conservatory, so I drop off quite often, and you walk in the Center for Cultural Arts, it's radically changed, all for the better. It's bright, it's vibrant colors, the lighting, the way the light now comes in and stuff, that was a great idea. It's just real. And the train, like you'd said, the train is right front and center. It's just a neat space. Kids running around having fun, and it's a wonderful addition. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, come on up, Michael. You got a camera, and we'll get a picture made. Yeah, just come right behind this desk right here, and we'll stand up and.
Just sit real back.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thanks for coming. All right, y'all, that's really good stuff, really positive things for our city. All right, let's go to agenda item 8. This is the time and place as advertised to conduct a public hearing allowing anyone to speak in opposition to or in favor of an ordinance adopting the fiscal year 2026 budgets. This ordinance approves the following budgets. General Fund, $80,947,000. Special Revenue Funds, $9,961,869. Debt Service Funds, $11,566,517. Enterprise and Internal Service Funds, $16,558,556. Capital Projects Fund, $9,540,930. Capital Projects Fund 2, $8,338,045. This ordinance also adopts the employee pay scale. Copies of the budget are available in the Finance and City Clerk offices. At this time, I'd like to recognize our Finance Director, Brandon Phillips. Brandon, thank you so much for being here. I know you've got a presentation for us today, and you've done you and all the administration have put hours and hours and hours into this budget. So thank you for your hard work, and we look forward to seeing your presentation.
Well, thank you, Councilman. So again, put this document in you guys' hands last week, so it gave you some time to look over it. I have a few slides here that I just want to kind of dive into a little bit deeper, cover a few main bullet points, and then if you guys have any questions, we can go over those. So as you said, myself, Mayor Ford, the liaisons, the department heads, we've poured over this thing for weeks, as we always do. Put together another great budget, a great guide for us going into FY26. Again, this is what the city operates on every year. A lot of numbers in here, a lot of line items, but it helps us once we get this thing to track everything, keep up with everything, especially with our new software we've got. I want to do a little shameless plug there if I can again for Tyler. We've got our new Tyler software in there, so this will be the first budget that for a full year we're going to be operating in there, so excited about that as well. So. This is the RISE Gadsden budget. I think we're all familiar with the RISE acronym that we've used during our presentation before on the new bond issue. So I have that here. And when I go into this, I've broken it down into basically 4 parts, okay? So you guys have that document. As we've said, we've got hundreds of line items, a lot of different funds, but I wanted to hit a few basic areas, and those are revenues, expenditures, personnel, and debt service. So as we go through these, I tried to break that down to just a few basic categories there that we can highlight kind of what's going on and what you can expect coming for FY26 in this budget. So this is one slide that's very important. So when we start to talk about revenues, we've talked about revenue growth. I think we've been out in the public, or some other folks have been out in the public and get asked this question a lot. And I just want to focus on this because this is a huge deal. This is a great slide. When we say revenues have tracked and grown at 10%, that is not an estimate that Brandon has come up with. That is not something that is flawed. These are audited numbers right here. So I like showing this visual. So, and I'll show you in the next slide. Since FY22, our general fund revenues has averaged 10% growth. That's an audited number. So that's, here we are, 22, 23, FY24, and of course we're working on closing out FY25 right now. So that is a great thing. I mean, we should all be excited about that because what does that do? That allows us to do some of these other things that we've got mentioned later on in this budget, of course. So to further elaborate on revenues here, that first bullet point, as you can see, is revenues have averaged 10% growth since FY22. That's what we saw on the chart before. Some new items coming up for FY26, the anticipated economic impact of our new Gadsden Athletic Center. There's a $190 million economic impact estimated for that. Now, keep in mind, obviously, that we'll start seeing that starting with FY26, but see that in the years coming forward. We have some new events at the Nakalula Falls area that John Moore has come up with, and with his folks and his staff, so we can see some new revenues generated up there at the Nakalula Falls area. We have some earnings on this new bond issue, so I want to focus on that a little bit. So when we do this bond issue and we get those monies in, we're going to have a drawdown period. So you're actually going to have earnings on those monies as you draw them down, because we're not going to get this and draw it down, and that's factored in this budget as well. So you can see that as a plus. The money that's sitting out there in those accounts, until we draw that down, we're earning money on that. Okay, so that's a positive. That's a inflow for this budget, and the next couple budgets probably. And then on that last bullet point, we have new revenues estimated for the top tracer and night golf out at the golf course. This is a very big deal. Not only, I mean, we've talked about those, and I would have Nick elaborate on those as far as the operations themselves. I don't play golf myself. I've been asking Nick to take me out there and show me how to play golf. He just won't do it. But anyway, the new revenues from Top Tracer and Night Golf are going to assist in that last little point there, and that's a big deal. We no longer are supplementing the golf course from the general fund. That's huge. Go back 3 or 4 years ago, you would have looked at your budget document and you'd had $400,000 or $500,000 being supplemented out there. So it's not just these items, but over the past couple of years, whatever they're doing out at the golf course, again, I'm not a golfer, but whatever they're doing, it's working, because this thing has been trending up. I run a financial report for them every month, trending up, and then when you add this in, that's a huge deal. So not only we're not going to have to supplement that, but hopefully we can see that things start making some money. So. But that's on the revenue side of things. This is the expenditure side, and I want to show this. It's maybe a little bit difficult to read. I'll get you guys some copies of these as well if you'd like. But this is a report, or a chart rather, that I run every month with the mayor. And I just want to focus on this. Down the left-hand side is all of your departments here, okay? This shows the percentage of the budget where you sit right now. This report, our last full report, was July of 25, okay? That means we're 83.3% through the budget. Everything in red, I apologize for being so shaky, I can't quite get that thing done. Stay still. So everything here in red that you see is where the departments are currently actual expenditures. Now keep in mind, this little jut that you see out here, I want to address that real quick. That's motor pool. That's like a $6,000 line item. So even though it looks like it's jutting out there, that's very, very minimal. That's the cars that are here at City Hall. So every department that you can see is trending for as of July 25 under budget. You can see that coming out through here. Every one of these items. The yellow is what they've encumbered. So as of, for instance, our utilities, we encumber that out at the first of the year. So that just shows you that's already encumbered. I'll give an example. The IT department, they have a lot of big contracts that they pay out, so therefore they're kind of front loaded. They jump out there because they pay those at the beginning of the year. But as far as your expenditures in this current budget and what we're trending, all of our departments are managing their expenditures. They're staying under budget, and this is as of July of 25, okay? So again, we've talked a little bit about the revenues, talking about the expenditure side of things, how we're handling those. Then we'll talk about personnel. So in this upcoming budget, all the employees with a satisfactory evaluation are getting a 2% pay raise. Okay, that's worked into the pay plan that we've talked about that was implemented a couple years ago. So all employees estimated a 2% pay raise. We took part-time salaries from $11 to $12 an hour for the part-time employees. That's a $1 bump. And then this third bullet point is another one that, I mean, it really should be bolded or its own slide. That's huge. Personnel is currently at 54% of the general fund budget. I don't know if you guys remember or going back even a few years ago when you guys came in, that number was bumping 70% of our general fund budget, maybe a little bit over. That is a huge deal. So when you go through and see these sides, 54% of your budget, your operating budget, is personnel. It was at like 70. Okay, so that's a great bullet point right there, great statistic on that. So all these items are in green. These are great things that are happening, right? So this down here in red, personnel costs for FY26 are up $2.3 million. Okay, that's a big number. The first two bullet points under that are the 2% raise, the dollar for our part-time employees from 11 to 12. So the last two bullet points there are things that are out of our control, okay? RSA rates are up 3.2%. That's an item that we're given from the state retirement. Okay, so we have to account for that. That's $700,000 to $800,000 cost to the city because of that rate. And that last bullet point is the cost of our insurance going up. So we have our separate fund that I have to go in and calculate each year. That's get a number that's going to maintain that balance in that fund, and the city is going to pay for insurance costs. That was about an $800,000 increase this year, okay? So I just want to focus on that to say, hey, 2% raises across the board. Part-time salaries are up. We've gotten our personnel down to 54% of our general fund budget, despite these increases that we've seen here, okay? So that's what that's allowed us to do with those, just one of the many things with those increases in revenues. This is the summary from your budget document that you have currently. So this is just a snapshot of your general fund budget. This is comparing 26 to 25. So just want to focus on, there's your roughly 2.3%, a little bit lower than that actually. Your personnel increase. Come down here and you can see operating and capital are up. We were able to move some things out of the 320 and 340 fund, get those over there and pay for them out of the engineering budget, absorb that. Right here's the effect of that golf course. So there are several things in that transfer line item, but that number is down nearly $400,000. And the golf course, that's a direct reflection of what's happening out there. Almost level funding pretty much on your outside agencies. And then I want to come down to your projected revenues down here, okay? So our projected revenues are up $9 million, 9.5 over budget. Now remember, I told you it was 10%. That was our budgeted number last year. But we're projecting up over budget that much. And as you can see, 65 million last year, we hit 68 or 69. I try and stay very conservative with revenue numbers, okay? So these are that's a good number right there, I feel, or I wouldn't put it on here. So your revenues being up there, this line item right here, I want you guys to take a look at that and really understand what that is. That unassigned fund balance. We all know that we went to unassigned fund balance last year for part of City Hall because we wanted to pay for that thing, get it done, and not have to go finance anything on that, right? Look at what that's doing. We're paying this here in 25. That's going to drop $3 million. We have an estimated number in there in 6. Then go forward to 27. We want that number to go away. We want that number to be 0 and be over there in City Hall, right? So when you guys came in, there was a number in there. I remember back we paid for some garbage trucks out of there, I believe, in one of the budgets. We put, nearly $2 million in there. So this is not unusual. If that thing dropped another $3 million, you'd be back to kind of where you were when you assumed the budget. So that's another great thing. If we can get that number down, get in City Hall, get that number down to nothing in the next budget or very little. We're able to purchase equipment out of our garbage fund as we've talked about before, so that doesn't factor into that number. So that's another, a great line, a little point right there, a great line item to look at, that we're bringing that number down and hope to eliminate that by next year. Talk a little bit about debt service. So we've talked about revenues, talked about expenditures, we've touched on payroll. I want to focus on debt service for just a little bit, and I know we've talked about this a good little bit lately, but we've paid off in 2025, we'll pay off the 2017 general obligation warrant. In 2026, we'll pay off another general obligation warrant, okay? So to give you a visual, that's 25 current year, 26 next year. Again, a bit hard to see, but you guys have seen this chart before. This is pretty common, one that we keep updated, this Excel sheet. But this first column is FY24, and this is all the city's debt obligations currently, okay? I've highlighted in orange 1, 2 in 24 that we've paid off, another one in 25 that we will pay off with this budget, and then that one up there that we will pay off in 26. So again, this is just to focus on, we're paying off these debt obligations, and we've talked about this already, gearing up for the new debt that we're bringing on, okay? And let's talk about, wanted to talk about the new debt service, but I have apparently made a mistake on that slide there. So we're bringing on the new debt service. We can anticipate that with the new debt service coming on, all the projects that we've talked about in doing that, and I'll focus here. So we've already talked about all this debt service coming off of this, and then within just a short few years with that new debt service coming on, we'll be back to FY, I believe it was 20 or 21 debt service levels. So again, just to summarize, we're showing revenue growth, we're managing our expenditures, we're giving employees raises as was anticipated in our new pay scale, so we're able to do that. And then we're paying off debt, getting ready for this new debt issue. So that is all I have. I know you guys have had this document, so if you've got any questions for me or any of the other staff.
Excuse me. Brandon, that was excellent. Thank you for the work and the presentation, to the administration as well. This is a public hearing, so anybody can speak and ask questions. I'll refer to the council. Does anybody have any questions or comments from the council before we go to the audience?
Mr. President, what I would like to do, I have a series of highlighted issues here. of concerns. And what I would like to do is just, Brandon, if I can email them to you instead, which is what I was going to do, but I got my last report in this morning. So, and then also if I can get, and other council persons can speak for themselves on that, could I get a copy of that as well?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It'd be nice to have that too, yeah.
Yes.
I'd appreciate
Yep.
that too. All right, anybody else have any comments or any questions from the council? I'd just like to add, I think this is just indicative of the strength of our city right now, financially speaking and otherwise. I just reached over to Councilman Wilson. In our first term, you're correct, it was, our employee costs were around 70%. And to go to 54 is just amazing. And doing that while we're giving substantial raises to our employees, so we can keep the kind of quality people that we need to keep here to serve the citizens of Gadsden, and to drop it to 54 is just phenomenal. The golf course, Twin Bridges, is an excellent golf course, but when we put the new greens in, that was the game changer. Nobody wants to play golf when you can't play on a decent golf course. The golf course was fine, the greens were terrible. So we did that, and the rounds per play have increased dramatically, and now it's making a profit, as opposed, I think at one year, my first year we were maybe feeding it a couple $100,000, then it grew every year, $350,000, $500,000, to the point of it almost didn't make sense to even keep it open. So, and so now that has reversed, that trend has been reversed. Chet does a great job up there marketing the course. It's a pleasure to play. We have people coming from other counties coming to play. Golf is still popular, and it's a public course. There's not a lot of those around, especially in Etowah County, so it doesn't surprise me that it's doing so well. I think the night golf is just going to be it'll just shoot off like a rocket. I think it's going to really, really bring a lot more revenue. I'm just excited. We're staying within the parameters of where a city should stay as far as our risk goes, financial risk. We're very sound financially, very healthy. I'm just real enthused of the increase in our revenues. 10% every year for the last 3 years is just phenomenal. But there's been prudent management, I think, by the city council and by the mayor's office in cutting some of our expenses. I don't know how many buildings we don't own anymore and upkeep, but I think it's well into the maybe a couple of dozen that we've shuttered, and we're no longer responsible for feeding those buildings and taking care of them. And that's helped us save money. That's allowed us to spend money where we need to invest money, like in our infrastructure, in our police cars. I think, Tina, over 45 or 50 new police vehicles and new fire engines and new garbage trucks and new grappler trucks. I think our infrastructure is on very sound footing, and it's done in a manner where it's layered and feathered in, where we don't have to do it all at one time going forward. It'll be more systematically done over a period of time, where it's more affordable in the budget. And I think that's going to help us as we move forward. So just great thanks to the administration, to the department heads. And I love seeing the chart. Probably my favorite chart's the one where virtually every department is under budget. And, that's, that shows prudent spending. It shows people are paying attention. The department heads are watching every nickel and making sure that they're spending taxpayer money wisely, which is what this body wants to do too, obviously. That's our ultimate responsibility, is to watch the finances of the city. So very encouraging. And anybody else have anything, now that I've rambled for a little bit? Did I spark anybody's interest, Councilman Wilson?
Yeah, well, I'll just say, my biggest thank you is to the city employees. I mean, I think it speaks volumes. When employees are motivated and they have leadership and they're excited about what they do, I think their output increases. There's plenty of data in the public and the private sector to prove that. And I think that this budget is a clear example of our staff rising to the occasion, our city employees rising to the occasion. We get so much out of relatively little. Just the other day, I was in South Gadsden, last Thursday. And one of my constituents over there was in the need of a water heater. And so I drove down South 11th Street, cut over on Randall Street, got on 6th Street, come all the way up, and with the exception basically of about 4 blocks and over the Broad Street Bridge, and then turned right on to George Wallace Drive to go to Lowe's, every single inch of that route was brand new road structure and brand new pavement. And most of that has been done by our own internal asphalt and paving crews, you know, with the exception of the huge collaboration on 759, 431, and George Wallace. I mean, that whole 3-agency collaboration. But it's just, if even the biggest critics of this city and the leadership of this city have to recognize what's happening in this town. There's just no way. It's not up for debate. It's not anybody trying to spin the narrative for the city. Anybody who lives in this city or spends time in this city has to recognize the profound and dramatic change in the energy of this place and the direction it's going. And if you don't live in this city and you're a critic, stay out. Don't come here.
I want to say something to that, Councilman. When you say the employees, I know from my department, I don't mean it sound the wrong way, but we hear about the paving crew. We see the visual things, but my department's small, 6 or 7 people. My assistant finance director is sitting back there. But I'll tell you this, even in our department, we sit and we started meeting every Monday, which didn't happen before. I've referred to the Sally method, same as last year. We used to use that in the accounting firm I work for. But to sit down, and we just went through the other day on this budget, and we're like, hey, why are we doing it this way? Can we not consolidate this and make it easier on you guys? And I'll just speak to that. It just setting everybody down, talking with them each week and saying, hey, is there a better way for us to do this? For someone who, I've been here for 10 years now, but to incorporate, you know, to implement that, even in a small department like mine, but just sit down with everybody has that contribution, has that collaborative effort. I just think it's a huge improvement. So
I couldn't agree more. And to your point, Brandon, as somebody like Council President Back and I, who served on under previous administrations, to go from receiving our budget reviews handwritten on a piece of yellow legal pad to the presentations that we get, we've come a long way. Thank you.
Very good. Well, y'all, at this time, this is a public hearing. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to have a question answered or make a comment?
Before you.
Yes, ma'am.
Before you
Councilwoman
move to
Lee.
that, I would like to echo the things that have been said from Councilman Beck and from Councilman Wilson. And I think it speaks volumes because they served on a term before serving now. So I appreciate the information that we received today and just hearing where our city is and the good shape that our city seems to be in. I would like to make reference to the golf course, though, because you said that now it is about to be self-sufficient or where it will make money. I think that that's representative of our city. Money has been spent to improve it, and sometimes you have to tighten your belt as well as spend money in order to get into a good place. And so I would like to say thank you to our mayor and to those that work for our city, that work in the mayor's office as well as this council, because we've received some scrutiny from some decisions that we've made, but we see now where we're in a better place. Our city is attractive, and I think that it speaks volumes to have an administration that considers the employees in working in a raise annually based on performance. So I just want to say thank you for the budget. I think that it's awesome. I'm excited for the direction that our city is headed in. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Latham. All right, anybody else? Yes, sir. If you would, Mr. Harris, if you'd come to the...
May I speak from here, sir?
Well, we can't hear you if you... For the... Yeah. Oh, you remember how that works. That's got to get you on the microphone.
I didn't really want that. But thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
And to the council. The most impressive figure that I saw in that budget was where we've gone from over 70% personnel costs to down to 54%. 54%. That's impressive, especially when you consider the fact that we were underpaying employees for so long. Now they've given the raises and some raises, and we're in a position to where even with that and the other factors that affect that are some retirements, you know, and some people, you know, that were in high-paying positions that were, you know, applied, you know, to that amount. So it's good to see that, and I'm impressed that we've gone from over 70% to down to 54% personnel costs. You can't continue to strive. You can't continue to be successful with over 75% of your budget being in personnel. So I'm thankful for everybody that has done that, make our city much better to work with. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy. Appreciate that. Anyone else wish to speak? Okay, well, that being seen, then this ordinance has been presented today for the first reading, and the council will vote on it next week. Item number 9 on our agenda, our next public hearing is a resolution approving alcoholic beverage license. Shiva LLC, doing business as Fairfield Inn and Suites, located at 116 Walker Street in District 6, has applied for an on or off premises retail beer and table wine license. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Does anyone wish to speak in favor? The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 10 is our final public hearing. It's a resolution approving alcoholic beverage license. Tentacion Cantina LLC, located at 221 South 3rd Street in District 4, has applied for a lounge retail liquor license Class 1. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Does anyone wish to speak in favor? The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution. Sorry. Yeah.
So moved.
This done went through.
I think we had several moves.
Okay, second.
Second. All
Okay,
right.
that
There we go.
works.
Thank you. All right. Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
All right. Item 11, at this time, the chair will entertain a motion to recess the council meeting in order to conduct the work session.
So moved.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to recess the council meeting for the work session, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries for the recess.
Chair will entertain a motion to reconvene the council meeting. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to reconvene the council meeting, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries for reconvening.
Item 13 is unfinished business. We have none today. Item 14 is a resolution appointing member to Gadsden Arts Council. This appoints Katrina Hooks to replace Angie Campbell for a term expiring May 31st, 2026. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution. Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 15 is a resolution reappointing members to Gadsden City Youth Council for the 2025-2026 term. This reappoints Caitlin Calloway, Aaron Pitts, Baylor Wilburn, Angela Connolly, Cameron McElrath, and Jamison Mullinax. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
I do want to point out, this is the youth council, I believe, that the mayor's office started. I want to thank these students for volunteering and being willing to serve. It's important to hear their voices and to know what the youth of our city would like to see and have done in our city. So this is a great way to do that, and proud of them for serving. Item 16 is a resolution authorizing acceptance of the 2025 Land and Water Conservation Fund's Outdoor Legacy Partnership Program Grant. This grant was previously authorized by Resolution Number R-427-25, and this resolution clarifies the city's commitment regarding the local required match. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So,
Is there any discussion?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is there a blueprint of a layout of what this looked like?
Let's see. Yeah, we had that a week or so ago, right? There was a blueprint for that, for the,
There's an alignment of the trail itself. So what we've done so far is just the pre-engineering, and it shows the actual alignments, the location. I've got a map of that, so it's been in previous documents. It may not have been a good color, though.
I mean, we've seen that, but I'm just looking what the idea of what the trails will look like itself.
We don't
Is
have
it
a
gonna-
rendering. It's not to that point yet. So let me, the next, okay, so.
Mike, should you go to the microphone? Probably
I know
so.
the answer to that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. That's,
I shouldn't have asked. My apologies.
no, it's all right.
So the next step in this process, now that we're to the award, and we'll get this resolution back to the correct agencies, is for me to put out an RFP, meaning a request for proposals from the design firms. And so we'll let everybody design-wise know that's qualified to do this, that's licensed to do this or complete this work. Send us your qualification packets and let us know that you're qualified to do that. You are interested in completing the job. We'll have an internal committee that reviews those and then recommends to you guys which firm to bring to you. And so once we get to that state, we'll have designs, we'll have renderings if you wish. We don't always do the renderings, but if that's something the council would like to see, that's not a problem. Then we'll proceed straight to the construction documents. So little further out and we'll have a pretty good detail of that.
Conceptually, though, does this go from the falls down to the railway bed? Is
So
that-
this one is actually, it's not a true Rails to Trails project, but it is, meaning there was a program that funded that. It is why I'm weary of saying the Rails to Trails, but it helps everyone understand. It is the rail bed. So this one follows that actual rail bed, and it goes from the Mill Village area, just about at Cabin Avenue, and then goes all the way east to the North 3rd Street intersection. So we'll have two trailheads on each side. There's a little bit of property there. Those look a little different, but it intersects the Black Creek Trail system at Black Creek Road, excuse me.
And I guess for clarification too, that runs parallel in between Tuscaloosa Avenue and Meagan Boulevard, is that right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, to make sure everybody gets a visual for where that's
Yes, sir.
located, so.
So in general speaking, just verbally, give an explanation. It's about an 8-foot wide trail. Most of that will generally be an asphalt trail. We'll have sidewalks, concrete sidewalks that join at each intersection where there already are sidewalks, or that there's a simple, a good tie location that we can bring those in. The main point is to bring as many residential areas as we can, or give maximum access that we can for those areas to be able to get on that trail and go wherever they want to in Gadsden, especially once we complete the overall greenway.
That's exciting. And so for the match, I think in the clarification, in general numbers, this is a $3 million grant that we're receiving from the federal government, correct?
Correct.
And then
Yes, sir.
the city is required to put up our $3 million in order to get the federal government's $3 million.
Yes, sir.
Okay, make sure everybody
So this is
understands.
the feds, not the state. I thought this was one that the governor sent down.
So what they wanted to see was an elaborated resolution than what we gave them to begin with, that stated we're aware that we're to pay back or pay our match of the $3 million. Essentially, it's $2,995,000 and whatever the change is.
But this is, and I may have misstated, this is from the federal government that goes through ADECA, or is this just from the
Yes,
state
sir.
of?
It's the National Park
It's
Service.
the National Park Service, okay.
Yes, sir. So we've been dealing with both of those organizations. We work with ADECA. They submit everything to the National Park Service, and then it comes back if they have questions and make sure everyone's knowledge is filled out.
Well, thank you for your work. Y'all, this is a big deal. We just got we're going to get $3 million from the federal government
It's very big.
in a grant. I don't know, in the last 7 years, if we've gotten any $3 million grants. That's, I don't remember any, so that's congratulations. Thank you all.
Well,
Tina,
that's to everyone in the
Ruth,
city. So
the mayor, everybody.
one other thing, and Ms. King brought this up, I believe, last week when it was when we first discussed it. This will also add pedestrian lighting. Obviously, we're going to keep everything lit up. It'll be a security. There'll be a station. A lot of what I say is what you see on college campuses. So there'll be stations that have security cameras, and we talked about those high resolution cameras, as well as an ability to call police if you feel unsafe at any time. I would like to, or we would like to employ that throughout the Greenway. That way, it's a commonplace thing. And everyone knows, hey, you feel safe, go out with your family, walk the area, and have a good time. Have some overlook areas, some resting spots for folks that need to take a little break.
And that's been a common question I've seen on social media is the safety of, when you're out kind of in a desolate area maybe, and it's not a lot of eyes, do you feel safe? And of course, you just explained it pretty well. Mm-hmm. Our daughter was a student at University of Alabama, and I was familiar with all the little push button things where they could call for help and things like that, and then the lighting and the camera systems. I mean, that's I think we're taking every effort, maximizing every potential problem and trying to address those problems with technology. And then we have a lot of police officers now on e-bikes and bikes, and I'm sure they'll be out patrolling and riding around. So exciting times. Thanks. Any other questions? All right. So we've had discussion on the Land and Water Conservation Fund's Outdoor Legacy Partnership Program Grant. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
All right, item 17 is a resolution authorizing acceptance of Thriving Communities Grant. This is for installation of fabric sun sails over the seating at Mort Glosser Amphitheater, and the amount is $50,000. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution. Is there any discussion? Just want to point out again, thank you again for a grant. Is John over there?
Yep.
John, you're over there hiding. John, good work on this. This is for folks like me that don't have hair. I need a sail cover over to cover the sun, so I appreciate the help. I think it's going to be a very nice addition to the Mort Glosser Amphitheater. Any other comments? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Number 18 is a resolution authorizing special use permit to Verizon Wireless. This is for modification of their equipment at the existing wireless telecommunication facility located at 1624 Forest Avenue. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I know David Andrews is here with our consultant for that. Anybody have any questions for David? I know we've talked about this in previous weeks. Thanks for being here this morning, David. All right, clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 19 is a resolution authorizing an agreement with Carousel Digital Signage. This is to implement digital sign displays in a number of city facilities, and the amount is $8,000 per year for 30 licenses. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right, clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
All right, item 20 comes under the first reading category. This is an ordinance authorizing the issuance of general obligation warrants, Series 2025A. This sets up general parameters related to the issuance of bonds for a number of specific projects. It authorizes Maynard Nexon PC as bond counsel and Stifel, Nicholas and Company Incorporated as underwriter. The ordinance has been presented today for first reading, and the council will vote on it next week.
Mr. President, if there's no objections, could we go ahead and vote on this today, just so they can get ahead of this and get all these documents prepared for their trip to New York?
Anybody have any discussion on that, or anybody have any questions on the impending bond coming up?
I guess my question would be to have understanding of what the document fully details.
I thought we went over that last week when we asked what the document detailed, and we all went home with it for a week. I mean, it's fine. I just feel like we voted on the same thing like 5 times. Let's just get this thing done. I mean,
Can I just elaborate a little bit about the documentation that
Sure.
we have to prepare?
Please do.
We have about a 30-page document that we have to prepare. It's about the demographics of the city of Gadsden. It goes into detail about the school system. It talks about recreation. It outlines everything about the city of Gadsden, as well as we have to prepare a sheet that lists each and every project, the projected cost of that project, all of our debt, the payoff schedules for our debt. It's very, very extensive what we're trying to prepare. And as Councilman Wilson said, it would really give us a little bit of leeway to get this stuff prepared and not have to stress about waiting until it goes through next week and then prepare it. So
your preparation, excuse me, Mr. President.
No, you go ahead.
Your preparation includes the consultants, right?
absolutely.
Yeah, I'll second, Mr. President.
We haven't
Thank you.
asked for vote yet.
All right, you brought it up. All right, is there any more, do you have any more discussion,
So
Councilman?
this is to bring up for immediate consideration, correct?
Yes. Yeah. All right, so there's been a motion to bring it up. There's been a second from Councilman Smith. City Clerk, will you take the vote, please?
Those in favor to consider the ordinance today at its first reading, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, we have unanimous consent for immediate consideration.
move to adopt.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
I'm gonna abstain.
one abstention. Motion carries for the adoption.
Mr. President, I appreciate my colleagues allowing that vote. And I think, again, we've been pretty thorough with our review leading up to this and having those consultants that we're paying. As much as I understand this document, I put my faith in those consultants that we're leaning on and those city attorneys. I mean, as much as I put my faith in my closing attorney when I get a mortgage on my house. I mean, I can't pick apart every single part of that mortgage document, but at some point, I think it's time for us to get going on it because it can fester. I don't want to, I think we're all in agreement that we're going to do this. So
Right.
let's get it done.
That's, and to be clear, we didn't just borrow $130 million right now. This just sets up the parameters to authorize the mayor and to go with Stifel to New York City to sit with the bond folks to take a look. And so this is just all in the I guess the pre-work or the preparation for.
Well, and Mr. President, just to elaborate a little bit on that too, just so it's clear where I'm coming from. A lot of the questions that I think individuals will have about the details of this bond, we can't get until we execute documents like this because, believe it or not, you can't just call a bank up in New York City and say, how much will you charge me for $130 million? Like they want to see documents that show that you're an actual viable entity, that you have the approval of your governing body before they'll even have those conversations. So I just want to make that clear to your point, Mr. President. This isn't us signing the loan on $130 million. This is simply taking formal steps to satisfy the lending institutions so that we can move forward with these conversations to get those answers.
That's a good way to explain it. That's, I didn't want anybody to walk out of here or watch this later and think we just suspended the rules and borrowed $130 million. This far from it. So just.
Well, we'll get to one of these points. This is one of those, kind of standoffs, stalemates of which comes first, the chicken or the egg. We have some questions about the details of this bond issue, and the bank's saying, okay, well, if you'll sign these documents telling us that you guys are serious and legitimate about doing this, we'll answer those questions. And then, of course, understandably, like Councilman Avery, who's head of our finance committee, is saying, well, I want to know answers to these things. And the bank's saying, well, give us this document, we'll tell you the answers to those things. So it's kind of a standoff at that point. One side's got to give. That's the only reason I said, let's just go ahead and move forward with it, just so we can get some of those answers that we're all looking for.
Thank you. All right, thanks, everybody. We'll move on to item 21 on our agenda. It's new business. We have one item this morning for consideration.
Yes, Mr. President, this is from the engineering department. This is approving change order number 1 to the 2025 City of Gadsden landscape maintenance contract with Thrive Outdoor, Inc. It is budgeted for $15,962. Let's see. Yeah, the change order number 1 reflects an additional cost of $15,962 for the completion of the Gadsden Sports Park Phase 4, including new soccer field maintenance and baseball field leveling. The contract total is now $563,519.08. And if there's no objections, I'd like to approve this today. Under new business.
There's a second. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today as an item of new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Item 22 is department reports, committees, and boards. Do we have any of those this morning? Seeing none, we'll move to remarks by the mayor and council. Anybody from the administration need to speak on behalf of the mayor today? All right. Councilwoman Latham, you want me to start with Councilman Robinson? Councilman Robinson, we're going to go in reverse numerical order. We're going to start with 7.
I love it. I love starting
Aren't
with
you
7.
excited?
Yeah.
That'll-
7 should always be first.
That's right. You know, it's a biblical number. It was
right.
Pat Sullivan's number,
Oh,
too.
come on, biblical. Now, don't feed into that ego over there.
I don't have much. I didn't really have anything to say. It was a great day. I appreciate everything, all the department heads. Brandon, thank you for your report there. I know y'all doing a good job on that. It's very easy, and this pamphlet here is very easy to understand. I was looking over some stuff real quick when you were talking, and love the direction we're going. We're going positive, and everything looks good there. Yeah, just looking forward to what's going on in the city of Gadsden, man. It's looking great. Enjoying it and enjoying what it's going to look like. So that'll be all. Knockalow Falls is doing great, by the way. It's awesome up there. I apologize for being out last week. Took another much-needed vacation, but can't believe it's over with, so now I'm back to work. Working very hard for the rest of the year into next year.
You got to get that last quarter push, right?
That's right.
Fourth quarter.
That's right.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Manatra.
Yes, I just want to thank Brandon and his whole team for a great job, great presentation. Well done, edited, concise, just perfect. I also want to mention, last week, I mentioned the Patriots Park up at Nakalula now has 139 flags flying for the veterans that we have lost due to suicide. September is Suicide Prevention Month, and those flags will fly at Patriots Park all month to honor those veterans and to bring to the forefront the issue that we have with suicide in the veteran community. So if you haven't been, they are flying very well, and they look fabulous at Patriots Park. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Wilson.
Yeah, just again, thank you, my colleagues, for moving that that bond issue document forward. I think that's exciting, and I'm ready to get that thing rolling. The only other thing I have is condolences to the victims' families from the accident in Cherokee County at the ATV park. I don't know if some of you may not have seen that yet, but 2 individuals and 7 children were involved in a terrible ATV accident at this park in Cherokee County, and the 2 adults passed away. The 7 children, some of them are in critical condition right now. It's a really, really terrible situation and a terrible accident. So my thoughts are with all the people involved in that. And I'll just want to say this too, from a general kind of 30,000 foot perspective. If we have set out as a community and as a region to build our future regional economy on ecotourism and outdoor activities, we have to wrap our hands around issues like safety in our parks and in our public spaces, and understanding best practices and standard operating procedures for how we provide a safe environment for people to enjoy the outdoors and enjoy the recreational activities that we have to offer. So I want to commend our leadership here in the city of Gadsden, just like what you heard us talking about today with the Gadsden Greenway project, of being proactive and doing things like putting in call centers and lighting and safety measures, not just for police safety, but also for the safety of individuals that are out enjoying our recreational spaces. So that's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Wilson. Councilman Avery?
I have nothing.
Nothing today. All right. Councilman Smith?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. Another good day of government. I share the enthusiasm of some of my colleagues up here about what's going on in the city. I want to thank you, Brendan, for a thorough finance report explaining everything line upon line for us. Just exciting time to be a part of what's going on in the city. Also want to just thank our engineer as well, Mr. Heath Williamson, because I got a call that came in through the clerk's office on last week. And I'm not sure, Ms. Ivor, you may know how old Mr. Jack Smith is. I think he's in his 90s. I think he told me he was in his 90s, but it was one of those good phone calls. He called just to say, man, I'm here. I'm basically laying in a hospital bed, sleeping in that. I went by his house to visit with him. But he was just so thankful for the drainage project, that 9th and Lake project. And that's all he called to say. Let the mayor, let the staff, let City Hall know I'm thankful to have that drainage problem fixed over on that 9th and Lake Street. So it's those kind of phone calls that we get. Sometimes good news travels slow. I've said that before. But when we get these kind of calls, we like to talk about them. And not just over there, man, they're over at Agricola. Took my grandbaby to school today at Gadsden Middle. All over there, new streets over there. Right through George Wallace, new streets over there. All over the city, just a lot of good things are going on. And we're not a bank. We do have a fiduciary responsibility, but at the same time, you got to be kind of comfortable living with some kind of debt. So I'm excited that the previous administration positioned us for where we are now. I'm not trying to preach today, but as Mordecai told Esther, who knows whether y'all were brought here for such a time as this. So they did their job. It's time for us to do what we're here for. So I'm excited about that. One last thing. Earlier this year, we had a gentleman here named Warren Henry, and President Back spoke very highly of him before he gave the Dr. King speech. I was so glad I took out my phone that day because his daughter, my daughter, Melcy in the mayor's office, they all graduated together from school, and sadly he was the only child of his mother, passed away, but just a great young man, just great things. Been doing that since he was a child, and just actually to keep that family lifted up in prayer. But that's all I had. Ms. K. Moore, thank you for all, she left out, but thank you for all that they do downtown. I'll make sure if I go upstairs, I've got my dancing shoes on at the Coach Arts Center. But that's all I have, Mr. President.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Councilwoman Latham? Nothing this day? All right. Well, I agree, we concur with Councilman Smith. It's been a great day of government here in Gadsden. Brandon, to you and your staff and all administration, thank you for a job well done, very well thought out. I spent a lot of hours poring over that information this weekend. A lot of it I understood, some of it I didn't understand, I'll be honest. It's just very voluminous, but very well laid out, and very, very exciting. Very proud to be a part of moving our city forward and reimagining Gadsden. Do want to mention just George Wallace Drive. You know, we've all driven on that road for many years, bumping around and dodging potholes and everything. I think those days are behind us. We also had the new drain put in. I saw that. That's going to alleviate the water that would gather there. So excited to see all the improvements. Our paving department's doing a great job. You know, they started kind of slow, y'all. Not everybody in that department had experience in paving, but now they do. So now things are moving faster. They're getting used to the equipment. And the mayor, and along with Heath Williamson, our city engineer, has a very aggressive paving schedule and paving plan. So everybody just be patient. Things are getting better and smoother every day. I want to congratulate Kay Moore and Catherine Martin and Tom Banks for being here this morning with their awards they won at the Main Street, Alabama conference recently. Gadsden continues to shine in just all different areas. And also want to mention Warren Henry, Councilman Smith. What a outstanding young man, friend of my daughter's. They graduated together, and he was always had a smile. And I loved hearing his recitation of the "I Have a Dream" speech. I think he may have done it better than anybody. Just what a legacy that young man has left in such a short time. And then last but not least, my good friend, former Councilman Billy Harris, has asked me to announce. Billy's, as y'all all know, is very involved in our Patriots Association. Billy's one of our veterans that served our country, and so there's a Patriot Day cookout. It's hosted by Sam Boswell Honda. It's on September the 11th. It says, "We come together to remember the events that changed our nation and to honor the everyday heroes who protect, serve, and strengthen the Gadsden area. From first responders to military members, veterans, and dedicated community servants, your commitment keeps our families safe and our community strong. Join us at Sam Boswell Honda in Gadsden from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for a free cookout featuring hamburgers, hot dogs, and all the fixings. It's our way of saying thank you. This cookout is more than just a meal. It's a chance for our community to come together, share stories, and express our appreciation for the men and women who serve us every day." It's very well said, and we're so appreciative of our first responders and of our veterans, those who have served our country and gone to war so we can have the freedom, so we can enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy every day. So thank you again for being here. Everybody, you have one? All right, Councilman Avery, no problem.
Apologize, this just got in. So I serve on a few federal committees. One of our consultants just texted me this, and it's very important if those that experience the Head Start program, whether it's children, grandchildren, nieces, nephew, and so on. A House subcommittee will vote on Head Start funding for FY26 at 5 p.m. Eastern Time today. Your House member needs to know that without the funding increase for Head Start, classrooms close, waiting list grows, and family will lose access to virtual early learning, health, and nutrition services. I will post this on my Facebook page for those that have access to Facebook. If anyone is interested in knowing more about it, how to reach out to their House representatives, just give me a call. You can call the clerk office. She'll pass you my number. But it's very important, especially for this community, for the amount of youth that Head Start impact. So if you're interested, again, whether you have someone that goes there or not, please let's try to reach out to our House representatives, make sure that we save Head Start.
Thank you. That is very important. Appreciate you bringing that up. All right. With that being said, we will be adjourned.